Okay, my friend, if you've ever looked at your life and thought, my gosh, like, why can't I just get my crap together? Why am I so lazy? Why does everyone else seem to be coping so much better than I am? Something must be wrong with me. I want you to just pause for a moment. And before you ever speak to yourself again like that, I want to offer you a different perspective that might just change the way that you view yourself from this moment forward. Because what if the reason that you're struggling so much in life isn't because you are lazy or unmotivated or broken or whatever it is, whatever your brain is offering you? And instead, your brain could simply be trying to protect you. So let's just unlearn shame together now. First things first, like if you have ever judged yourself harshly in the past, or even now, okay, you're not alone. There's so many people that live with this like constant internal narrative of not enoughness. You look around, you compare yourself to everyone else, and you see everyone else is so much more disciplined, more capable, more consistent, more resilient than you are. And you use this comparison as evidence that you are the problem. But here's the truth. What if you've been like what you've been calling laziness is just your nervous system in survival mode? What if the thing that you've been calling as unmotivated is a sign of emotional overload? And what if the thing that you've been interpreting as, I'm broken in some way is just a protective response that your brain has learnt to keep you safe? Because the thing is, your brain's number one job is just to keep you alive, okay? Not to keep you fulfilled. Your brain is wired for survival, not success, not happiness, not thriving, just survival, which means that your brain will always do the thing. It's always going to choose the familiar, choose the comfortable, and choose the predictable over the risky stuff, the stretchy stuff, the vulnerable stuff, the new stuff. Not because you are incapable in any way, but because your nervous system has learned over time that staying small or staying still or staying in the known, like in your comfort zone, is the very thing that keeps you safe. So when you are about to start anything new or try to change your life or set a new boundary or chase a dream or speak up or do something that comes with some level of risk, your brain is going to hit the brakes, okay? Not because you lack desire, but because your brain is whispering to you, this could hurt you. You might fail. Okay, it might bring on rejection or embarrassment or disappointment. So let's not do that thing. Okay, let's just stay exactly as we are. And so you shut down. Your brain shuts you down before danger ever arrives. Okay, you're not lazy. Your brain is protecting you. So when protection mode looks like a personal flaw, okay, protection mode, when your brain is trying to keep you safe, doesn't always look dramatic or obvious. What it often looks like is procrastination. I'm sure we're all familiar with that. Or I'll do it tomorrow, when you say that to yourself. Or sudden tiredness, like it's like, oh my gosh, I'm too tired to even try. Or busying yourself with very small tasks, or overthinking instead of taking action, or even if it's just like a lack of motivation or numbness or just feeling checked out, or this tendency to want things to be perfect, perfectionistic tendencies, or just giving up before you even begin. So you might think, my gosh, like, okay, I'm failing in life when I'm doing all these things. But these are just signs that your nervous system feels unsafe in this moment, not because you're weak in any way. Because when your mind truly believes that something is risky, whether it's emotionally or mentally, it's going to shut down your energy, your motivation, your willingness to act. Not because anything is at all wrong with you, okay? It's because your brain is protecting you from potential pain. So let's rename what is actually happening behind the scenes, because what you are calling, I can't stick to things, is often your brain just avoiding overwhelm. Okay, your brain doesn't want to feel overwhelmed. And what you're calling, I should be further along by now, is often your nervous system saying, well, just slow down. I'm at capacity right now. I cannot stretch myself in any way beyond what I'm doing right now. And what you're calling, well, I don't care enough, is often a self-protective freeze state. So this reframe, when you start to think of the way that you are living in life, isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about understanding yourself, like why you do these things, so you can actually change. Because shame never healed anyone. Like shaming yourself, beating yourself up with a metaphorical beating stick, speaking to yourself harshly, like it doesn't work. If you've ever tried to do it, you'll know it doesn't work. But self-understanding, being kind and compassionate to yourself, that is where the transformation begins. So how do we begin to shift this? Okay, how do we do this work? If your brain is trying to protect you, the solution is not to bully yourself into action, because your brain is not going to respond to shame or force. You probably already worked it out. What it does respond to is safety and compassion. So instead of saying, come on, like just do this, how hard could it be? Like seriously, what is wrong with you? Try saying instead, how can I actually make this thing feel safer, easier, or lighter to begin? So instead of pushing harder, we're gently going to work with our brains, not against it. And so what this looks like is lowering the bar, lowering the pressure, shrinking that first step so it feels so freaking easy, like it's so easy to do. You're also going to be making sure that you are celebrating all your attempts, like not the outcomes that you get, but the fact that you are trying. Like give yourself a pat on the back and moving at a pace that your nervous system can actually hold. And always reminding yourself, well, I'm safe to do this. I don't need to do it perfectly. It's okay if I stumble and fall. It's all okay. Because when your brain feels super safe, your capacity expands. And when your capacity expands, motivation returns. And when your motivation returns, okay, even though it's fleeting, that is when consistency becomes possible. So self-compassion is not a weakness in any way. Okay, it's going to be a strategy to get you moving. Okay, it's going to be a strategy that makes your nervous system feel very safe. And so just a very gentle shift that you can try this week. Choose one thing that you've been postponing. Not the biggest thing that you've been postponing, just a tiny little thing. And before you attempt it, put your hand in your heart and say, it's just safe for me to do this in tiny, small steps. I do not need to do it perfectly. There's no way that I'm going to do it perfectly. I just need to begin. And then take that tiny little action, 5 minutes or less. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do it to get results. You just need it to show your brain, I can do this and I can still be safe. Like I'll still stay alive if I do this little tiny thing. And that little single shift from pressure to safety is where your self-trust begins to grow. And so if this has brought you some relief, like just to think about it in this way or soften something inside you, I have made a free guide that will help you take this further. It shares the 5 powerful thought shifts that are going to make you stop overthinking. It's going to stop the self-blaming and start taking gentle action, even when your brain is feeling really scared or tired or overwhelmed. Because it's not about pushing yourself harder. It's about shifting the way that you think about action so that action actually becomes easier. It can be something very simple for you to do. So the link is waiting for you in the description below. Just as long as you know you are never lazy, you are never broken, you are never behind, your brain was simply protecting you. And now you get to learn a new way, one that is built on self-respect and compassion and tiny little brave steps. So if this has resonated with you, my friends, tell me in the comments, what label are you just letting go of after hearing this today? I am always cheering you on very gently and slowly, okay? Remember, it is the tortoise that won the race. Take it nice and slow and you will eventually get there in the end.